Welcome to Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Cambridge is right next to Boston, and it's home to Harvard University, both of which are subjects of my previous vlogs.
And why so many vlogs on this part of the world? Well, because I lived in Boston and Cambridge for years and years. Hi, I'm Taylor, and in this vlog, I'm taking you to Cambridge, Massachusetts to show you some of the highlights and hidden gems. And there will be a tour into one of Harvard's most exclusive buildings, so stay tuned for that. So I want to share some of my experience so you can calculate for yourself whether the trip to Cambridge could be worth it to you, or just to provide some travel entertainment.
Please like and subscribe.
And let's get started. And we're flying out soon from LAX. We're in Los Angeles, where I live, and we're going to Boston Logan, which is one of my favorite airports. And we're already here. Already. It's like midnight. Several hours have passed, of course, and everything's closed, which is to be expected. And if you do fly into the Boston Logan Airport and want to go into Cambridge, you can take the T, which is the metro. From the airport, you can easily take the Silver Line, which looks like a bus, but it's actually part of the train line. And this connects you at South Station to the Red Line, which takes you directly to Cambridge.
But things can easily become a hassle, especially with suitcases, so you may just want a ride share.
Good morning. I just checked into my hotel, and it's in Porter Square, which is in that part of Cambridge. And it is far cuter than I anticipated, so I'm going to give you a little tour. This is just a standard hotel room, but look at this vibe. Not everyone likes a small shower, but when it looks like this and has this cozy feel. And not everyone likes pocket doors, but again, when it looks like this. Also, the price was good. I don't remember what I paid. I think that has to do with the location. So I'm in Porter Square, which isn't the hippest of the Cambridge squares, but if this works for you, highly would recommend. If you're coming to Cambridge for general tourism, you're probably going to be spending most of your time in the Kendall MIT area or the Harvard area. And these two areas kind of on the sides are Central Square and Porter Square. And generally, when you go further north, like Porter Square, Alewife, all the way up there, the hotels will be significantly cheaper. So for me, Porter is fine. I couldn't pay Harvard Square prices, and I did look into it. And now we're at Harvard's campus, which I will show you more of later. I was actually a former student. I did my master's here, so I will show you fun stuff. But for now, we're just going to go to the museums. Up first, we have the Museum of Natural History, which is a high-quality experience, even though the building isn't huge. Tickets are $15, and they also allow you access into the neighboring Peabody Museum of Archaeology, if that's your thing. I would say it's well worth a visit, but truly, if you don't have an intrinsic interest, probably not. So I have traveled a lot, and I've become one of those annoying people who love Europe. But when I walk around immersive environments like in these museums, I'm filled with the same type of wonder and excitement. And I try to bring that energy back into my everyday experience, but let's move on. The Harvard Arts Museum is right across the street from Harvard Yard and houses a number of paintings and sculptures from the European, Asian, etc. genres across 3 floors. Also, the museum is now free to the public, which it wasn't always. I've been to this museum at minimum half a dozen times, and I love it. So many of the paintings are in the exact same place, and I remember them, and I remember some of the fun facts about them, but this is a good museum. I've taken so many dates to this museum as well. Side note. And if you do like museums, there's also the MIT Museum, which is on the other side of Cambridge. Honestly, I'm not a fan of this museum just because the topic's a little bit outside of my realm of interest. However, it is a quality museum and it is available to you. Good morning. There's a lot more that I want to show you in this vlog, including food recommendations, the Harvard tour, but first we're going to walk around. And right outside of Harvard Square, we have the Harvard Lampoon Building, which is a publication founded in 1876 by 7 Harvard students, and it's one of the longest running publications of its time, and it's famous for its alumni. A scenic point in Cambridge is the Charles River, which is beautiful in a beautiful time of year. It's a little dead right now, but and now we are entering Central Square, which is not at all touristy, but it does have a different vibe. There are a lot of cafe and food options here. Dear viewer, I brought out the big light to tell you that Cambridge, Massachusetts has the eats. One location you may be interested in specifically is Life Alive Organic, which has a lot of vegetarian and vegan options. It's a cafe without coffee, really. And if you're near Porter Square and like bagels, there's Bagelasaurus, which I know nothing about other than the fact that usually when I walk by there, there's a line, which it's
probably a good sign, but maybe not so good if you don't like to wait.
And for a casual American fare dining experience, I would recommend Cambridge Common, which is right between Harvard and Porter. Now, you can explore the food of the world, or you can dine right here in Cambridge, Massachusetts, because the diversity is top tier. But I'm going to end on my favorite. I've mentioned this place in several of my vlogs because I really do believe it's that high quality. It's not for everyone, but it is for me. And maybe it's for you too. Tate Cafe and Bakery, which has a location right here in Harvard Square. And there are some locations near MIT as well as across Boston.
Side note, I'm editing months later, and did you see that movie, The Drama, with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson? Because that first cafe scene was definitely filmed in a Tate. I don't know where, but definitely a Tate.
If you do walk to MIT, I will say the most impressive thing for me as a pedestrian is just the diversity in the architecture. So we have this brutalist building behind me, this sculpture form here. We have the Great Dome, which is most impressive looking from the Boston side, as well as this Kresge Auditorium right there, which is a structure built by the Finnish-American architect Eero Saarinen. And he also made this inconspicuous looking building right here behind me, which will be one of our hidden gems at the end of the vlog, so stay tuned for that. And our final stop on this little walking tour is the Ray and Maria Stata building, which is famous for its quirky architecture. Designed by Frank Gehry and opened in 2004, it houses MIT's academic departments, including computer science, and you can often enter and see the inside on weekdays during business hours, but it's Sunday, so Google Images. Also, you may have noticed that Harvard wasn't on this walking tour, which is because it's coming up soon after this coffee break.
Jaho Coffee Roaster is quality. Chef's kiss. This video is not sponsored. I've just been here 6,900 times.
And a quick interjection. Your support means so much to me, so thank you for getting this far in the video. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you could like, subscribe, and leave a little comment. An emoji works. This is my second channel. I want to do more vlogs and other types of content here. My main channel's linked somewhere. You can check that out too. Either way, let's continue. So I am here on a weekend in January, which is good because it's emptier. This is January term, fewer students. But right now we are by the law school. This is the library. Let's continue. And here we are at the most famous part of Harvard Yard, where we have the John Harvard statue. It is known as the Statue of Three Lies because that is not John Harvard. There is no likeness of him that exists, so no one knows what he looks like. It says on the statue that he is the founder, which he is not. He is just one of the benefactors. And on the statue, it says that Harvard was founded in 1638, which is incorrect. It's actually 1636. Also, this statue is famous because people rub the shoe. You'll see it's gold there for good luck, but also don't rub it because I hear that people... If you do want to visit Harvard Yard, note that it is gated, and some of the gates are closed on the off hours. One gate that's more likely to be open is this one here, which is just along Mass Avenue across from this church. Pro tip. And now we're on the most famous part of Harvard's campus, the Yard, which is gated. Behind me is Seaver, an academic building. And right there is the most famous Harvard building, I would say, the library. And note that there is no public access into the library, but I was able to request it as an alumni card holder. So we are about to embark on a very special tour. So we just went in through the back entrance. So you're seeing the basement right now. And now we're heading upstairs to the more interesting parts. It's so pretty, like a museum, but honestly, I didn't really spend that much time here. Harvard has other libraries that are more geared towards studying. And behold, the Gutenberg Bible, which is super rare and just right here, as well as other Titanic memorabilia.
Right, so Widener is a memorial library honoring 27-year-old Harvard alumnus Harry Elkins Widener, who actually died in the Titanic in 1912. His mother, who survived, donated $2 million to help fund the library.
And now we're going to the second floor where I have to be really quiet because it's the reading room, which is so beautiful. I love this building. But again, it's more like a museum in my mind. And there are an abundance of less cool parts of the library, including the stacks, which is just rows and rows of shelves, and the carrels, the study carrels, where students can reserve them and have a place to study. You know, there isn't a lot of light down there. There are windows though, but yeah, that's the tour. Pro tip, if you do want to enter a Harvard building, I would highly recommend finding one with a gift shop because those ones are usually open to the public during business hours. Also, we can go into the building behind me, which is the Science Center, and it is home to the Museum of Scientific Instruments.
The collection of historical scientific instruments at the Putnam Gallery, that's a mouthful, is a very small, quirky museum. And honestly, this is my first time visiting. And the only reason I haven't really gone before because it is kind of small and not super interesting, unless this is your niche, and the hours are quite limited.
But overall, I'm really glad I stopped by. This is a cute, quirky find, and pro tip, there's a restroom in the basement. Even if you don't go onto Harvard's campus, I would highly recommend going through Harvard Square, which is a popular touristy area, but it's also just popular in general. And before we close out this vlog, I have 2 hidden gems for you. But first, I want to share a few quick tips to help you with your Cambridge travel experience. If you have time, patience, and not too much luggage, consider taking the T. Your results will vary. Visit Boston, which I'm sure you're already going to do if you're coming here. But I also wanted to share that I do have a Boston vlog where I go over some of the highlights. So you can check that out at the link in the description. Boston is expensive, so it could be nice to come on the off season, but I'm here in January and it's 22 degrees and windy, so pick your poison. Consider visiting Davis Square in Somerville. It has a lot of different food options and that hipster collegey vibe that the area is known for. Which brings me to our first hidden gem, which is Roxy's, a famous grilled cheese place. And you could go there for the grilled cheese and people love it for the grilled cheese. But it also has a secret, which is right through these double doors, there is an arcade and a bar, and it's a great experience. It's like a little speakeasy thing. It's located in Central Square. I've been there and it was fun. It's great for college students. And I lost all my photos because this was years ago that I went, so apologies. And our final hidden gem is the MIT Chapel, which is a non-denominational church, and it was designed and built by Finnish architect Eero Saarinen, and it was completed in 1956. The thing about this chapel is the hours are weird, so if you do want to go inside, check ahead.
I will say it's pretty small and there isn't a lot to see, but if architecture is your thing, I can see how this is worth it. And for me, someone who's seen like all of Cambridge, it was nice to see something new. So would recommend if you're in the area.
So what do you think? Have you been to Cambridge? If you have, what did you see? What did I miss? Have you been to Boston? Let me know all of your thoughts on this subject in the comments.
Please like and subscribe.
And as always, thanks for joining.